episode of Training Confidential. Big weekend last weekend, the weekend of the year. And that show was everything. It was everything we were looking for, and then some. But anyway,
we weren't counting on the blowback though.
No, we weren't. And
we'll talk about that later.
Yes, we're gonna get into that because it gets actually pretty bad, and it gets pretty bad. But at any rate, let's start off with Classic. What did you think of Classic?
I thought it was a classic. Actually, I thought that was a classic battle. I really did.
Yeah,
I really did. And the thing about it is that there's no doubt on who won that.
Sure.
I think Ruff and I think
Ramon.
Ramon is probably the heir apparent right now. Urs is looking really, really, really good. I didn't realize Urs was that big. I didn't realize he was that tall. I thought he was like maybe a little bit taller than Ruffin, but
no, he's like the same height as Sebum, and he gained some weight this last year. Good and healthy,
right.
Solid
and
muscle
the thing about
too.
It is he can fill out even more.
Yeah.
So
and he's young.
My sights were on him a little bit. I didn't realize that, like I said, he was that tall. I don't really watch a lot of classic, but
so what did you think of the conditioning?
I thought the conditioning was I thought their conditioning, especially the top three, was just
man,
notch.
That's what I thought.
I really did. As a matter of fact, Terrence was pretty good, and I can't. What's the other competitor's name?
Keon or Breon.
Breon, yes.
Yeah, Breon.
I get Breon and Keon, yeah. So Breon was I thought he looked pretty good too.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know what Breon needs to do to move up to that, because didn't he win an Olympia title one time? Yeah, he did.
Know.
He won
did
a title.
He really? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And I don't know what he I think he was thinking about maybe going up to 212, but it was a pretty good showing. I mean, he looked pretty good. I thought he was pretty good. I think Terrence needs to I really think he needs to fill out a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the thing about it is this: the guys that he's chasing, they're taller than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a natural. They got just a bigger footprint, and granted, his structure and the way he flows and stuff, it's almost unmatched and stuff, but these bigger guys like Urz's structure is just crazy good. You know what I mean? It's not like he's got bad structure. Neither, and that goes with Ramon and Bumstead,
And Ramon, he put in the work last year too, because he had bigger arms. He was filled out and looked better than he did last year. So he was putting in the work also, Ramon. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, I had Sebum in first, I had Urs in second, I had Ramon in third. That was flipped.
I didn't see, but I didn't have him in any particular order.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
But I would have said Sebum was going to win it.
My top five for 212, I got every one of them right.
Yeah, so I was pretty much
in order too.
Much in there. Yeah. So there was no controversy.
No.
With Classic and Sebum, he's really solidified himself. Now the question now is, does he want to chase going into bodybuilding lore, Classic, by winning 8 of these? There's only 2 people have actually won 8.
Really? Yeah. Okay, Ronnie,
and that's Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman. And they're like in a class all by themselves, and I could see Sebum actually winning 2 to 4 more of these. So
what do you think? What do you think of the open idea?
Huh?
What do you think of the open idea? They're kind of pushing them to why don't you do open?
It's got to depend on him. If it's something he doesn't want to do, then he's not going to really put everything into it. I mean, the challenge is there.
Yeah.
It really is. But the thing about it is, I think he's fine right where he is. I
I do
really
too.
do. He's
I do
really
too.
at the top of his game and stuff, you know. I mean, he really is. With some
Yeah.
of these 212s going to open, I would look at him and you can kind of see, okay, I can see where you can get away with this.
Yeah.
But Sebum, I think he's right where he needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing about I looked up his net worth. You know what I mean? The guy, it's not like he's really hurting for money or anything like that.
No.
And
No.
he can really solidify his place, in this sport
Mhm.
by getting 8 of these. This is about the only thing I can actually see that he would really want to do or really try to pursue, because like I said, now he's in the company of Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
There's only three, and
Yeah.
even the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, he's only got seven.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You're
got some
right. I
great ones
mean,
out there, Phil Heath, the whole 9 yards and stuff. But there's only two people that's got 8 of those Olympias.
Ramon's right on his tail, though. He's right on
Yeah,
his tail.
yeah, he really is. And I thought he ran him through but C-bomb, it's it's just a point, just the aura about him right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It goes just beyond the physiques and stuff now.
He's the face of classic. He is. He is
Yeah,
exactly what they want for classic. That's
yeah,
Siba. So
yep.
I mean, there's nothing else to say other than that. He is the
No, yeah.
classic. Let's
I
talk real
thought
quick. Oh, go ahead.
no, let's go to 212s.
Yeah, yeah. So now my question for you, we both said Keon was gonna take it, and you don't say stuff like that. So when he took it, and now we got Clarita over here, and Clarita's not stopping. He ain't done.
No.
So that's just gonna hit him harder for next year. So do you see Clarita taking back that title next year?
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. The question now is, how consistent is Breon? We know Sean's consistent.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
exactly what Sean's going to bring next year. Okay, he may downsize a little bit and stuff and just come in really crisp and stuff. I thought they both were at the top of their game.
Yeah. I think so too.
Sean,
Yeah.
I think Sean brought the hardness and stuff that he needed to win, and he was at the top of his game. And Keon was at the top of his game as far as structure and all the other good stuff. And on that particular day, structure won out.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
basically how that worked.
Yeah.
Structure
Yeah.
won out. I mean, it's not like Keon, like I said, it's not like he doesn't have structure. He just doesn't have Keon structure. And it's
Yeah.
not like Keon doesn't have the conditioning. He just doesn't have Sean's conditioning.
There ain't
You know,
nothing. There ain't nothing Corey can do about that. He.
you know,
I
and
mean,
yeah,
he's tapped
yeah.
out
And so
too.
that's all you just bring your best, be at the top of your game with your strengths. Make sure your strengths are at their greatest.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's just a coin flip and just see what the flavor of the judges is for the day. That's pretty much how that went. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, I wouldn't, and once again, I probably wouldn't have been overly surprised or upset if Sean had beat Keon, because he was popping like crazy, dude.
Oh man.
His muscles were really, really, really popping and stuff. And
Yeah.
so, Breon's just got that. I mean, he's just got that flow in that straight. You can't train for that.
No. No.
You
That's
know,
genetics there.
you can't train for that. You either got that or you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So hats off to Keon. The thing
Yeah.
is, how
The
consistent can
prodigy.
he be?
The
How
prodigy. Yes.
consistent?
And
Yeah,
because he has not been consistent last few times we've seen him compete. He's
yeah.
been
That's right. Yeah, right.
so
He hasn't. That's right.
yeah.
He hasn't. And so, but now he's the Olympia. It's easier when you're chasing the top, but once you're at the top,
You gotta hold that position.
how can you keep it? Can you hold on to it? That's the deal. So
Yeah.
that's going to be.
Yeah.
He's got a whole new set of challenges now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be exciting to see what he can bring out because he's a young guy too. So I mean, Clarita's a little older. He might be. I think he's probably about 40 years old or something, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's older. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
So
he's got so many avenues. He can go. I'm surprised he hasn't done the Masters Olympia yet.
probably will.
He could. Yeah, he could have. As a matter of fact, based on who won it he could have won it this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
if he was
Yeah, he could have.
if he's a Masters competitor, if he's in his
Yeah,
40s.
you're right. Yeah, because who won it? Kamal won it. He's a
Yeah, Kamal
212
won it, and
competitor.
he's beaten Kamal.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
you're right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Let's jump in and talk about the Open. So I'm sure
Oh boy,
everybody knows our placings right now. Everybody knows what happened. If
yeah,
you've seen the Olympia, if not, you've seen it on social media.
yeah.
Uh, I'll just say my thoughts real quick about what went down. The first, second place, and third place. So
Mm-hmm.
when I made my prediction, I had Derek Lunsford winning, but that was before I watched the show. As I'm watching the show, I'm looking at Choopan, and he was unbeatable from the front, I thought. I mean, he was unbeatable from the front, and he got harder and grainier. And I mean, he kept on getting better. So I'm watching this, and then, Choopan took it, period. He took it. I was wrong. He took it. And then he ends up not taking it. So, and that's fine because Lunsford and Derek were really, really close. And even Samson, but Samson started kind of sweating at the end. He started tiring out. So he earned his third place for sure. But
And 100
Chupin on,
grand.
yeah. But Chupin, on the other hand, I thought that he should have won that. And I didn't really put too much thought into it until I seen the scorecards yesterday. And I'm looking at the scorecards and I'm like, Lunsford got 13 and Chupin got 18. I'm like, wait a sec, that's not that close at all. I was expecting like a point difference, and it wasn't a point difference.
I would have thought that too, maybe like
Yeah.
13 and 14 or, something like that.
And I'm like, this is kind of a big thing here because Chupin obviously he got a little upset and he walked off the stage. Now he did go up and give Derek a hug because, I mean, they're on the same team. They're both Evergen,
True.
Gave
True.
him a hug, paid his respects, and he took his medal off. He was not happy with the placing. And did you see the look on Lunsford's face when he did that too? Like
Yeah, he
his
was
heart
kind
was
of
just
dismayed.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Lunsford is a super nice guy. And he's
Yeah.
probably an emotional guy. He's just a good human being. And
Mm-hmm.
well, at any rate, what ended up transpiring over the last couple of days is death threats
Yeah.
to Lunsford's family and everything, because of Chupin, people that think Chupin could have won or should have won. And Lunsford, his Instagram got shut down the other day, twice, as a matter of fact. Uh, they thought that maybe he just took it down because he didn't want because he was getting a lot of hate. Well, it wasn't that actually. If you get too many messages on Instagram and all that, they'll just close your account down, and that's what happened. But he had to actually make a speech. I think it was earlier today,
Yeah.
asking people to please don't threaten his family and his well-being. And I'm like, what is wrong with people that they have to threaten? Derek Lunsford has nothing to do with his placing other than the
Yeah.
hard work he
Yeah.
did.
He didn't. He didn't.
Nothing.
Had nothing to do with the placing.
And you got
Nothing.
people threatening his livelihood. It's really disheartening. What did you think? What do you think about it?
So, for me personally speaking, well, I'll go to the front part for. So, I there are some things that Chupin had on Lunsford, and there's some things that Lunsford had on Chupin. You
Right.
know, Chupin, like I said, is very consistent. The conditioning, was, Chupin. I've seen him a little sharper from the back, yeah, but still, he brought his trademark conditioning, and you're right, he's very consistent. And the thing about it, in the evening show, he always comes in harder.
Yeah.
He always
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking, and towards the end, this is when the intangibles just start coming in, and I'm just looking at looking at him, and I'm looking at Lunsford, and it's like, I as much as I wanted Lunsford to win,
Right. Right.
I said, I can see where he may not get this,
Yep.
you know, and I would accept it because Chupin was that on,
Yeah.
especially with the chest, and the abs. I mean, just his striations just running all the way down to his doggone hips. I
Yeah.
mean, and so in some ways he was exploiting, some of even though Derek brought up a lot of stuff on his physique, but at the same time, the chest, as things started going on, the chest started fading a little bit again. You could start seeing these things that kind of plagued him before and stuff, and that's when I started seeing the momentum shift a little bit, But the thing about it is this: it's bodybuilding lore. Back win shows, and it is clear without a doubt. Now, I don't think you can win with just back and everything, but back wins shows. I think Derek's back, both shots were good enough to take him over the top.
Yeah.
You know,
He had the hamstrings, he had the
but
glutes, he had the lats, he had everything.
right, you know,
The rear delts, like
back,
everything was popping.
yeah, back wins shows,
And
you
those
know,
those
and
glutes, man, they look like Hadi's chest. I mean, I'm looking at his glutes and
yeah, pretty
he just
much.
got,
Pretty much,
separation
you know,
everywhere.
you had you know. I mean, I think Hadi he got there from the front,
Yep.
you know, and I think Derek got him from the back. And I think the side poses were kind of close, and kind of neck and neck a little bit. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
think so too.
Side tricep and side chest. You know, it's kind of really close between that. But I think the disparity with the back and the disparity with the front, I think it probably favored Lunsford a little bit more. And I think this is just the way the judges saw it.
Yeah.
And like I said, contest of one from the back. This is like old bodybuilding lore and stuff, you know, and I think it sprouted up this time, you
Yeah.
know. I you know the last time I felt this much controversy, this much blowback was probably that 80 Olympia, the last one that Arnold won, you know, because a lot of bodybuilders retired after that.
Yeah.
Tony Emmett, you know, Roger Walker, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, and some of them weren't competing that much anymore. So I just want to see what kind of blowback we're going to get from this. I'm hoping that we don't lose some of these competitors and stuff, you know. I mean, especially Hadi. I mean, you
Well,
know, he
especially if they're from
still
another
got like
country, and they're
huh?
not, especially if they're not American citizens,
Yeah.
you know, because we got in the Middle East, we have some of the best bodybuilders in the world over there.
Oh
And
shoot, yeah.
I mean, you got Ramy too. I mean, just the Middle East comes with some big shredded dudes over there. I mean, in my mind, I hate to say it, but I think it might have been a controversy just by looking at the scorecards, and I think it might have been a political thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's my mind in it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like to say that, but
And I think some people they've kind of expressed it a little bit, you know. So
yeah, he is from Iran, and we're not getting along with Iran too well, as you know. And you know, I hate to say that, and
but you
I
and you're right. But the thing about it should not be
no,
about that and stuff. You
no,
know, I mean,
this is
we're
bodybuilding. This is
bodybuilding. It's about
bodybuilding.
that physique.
Yes,
You know,
yes. We are all brothers up
physique.
on that stage, regardless where you're from,
Absolutely,
what race, anything. We are all
absolutely.
brothers. We
Yes,
are bodybuilders, and that's how it needs to stay. So if
brothers
there
in
is any
iron.
politics involved, it's got to get right out the window because that's going to
Brothers in
take down the
iron.
sport.
That's what we are. Brothers and sisters in iron.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what we are.
yeah. Period. It's like was it CT Fletcher says we're all the same under the bar,
Yeah.
and it's true. So I hope there
So
was no political crap going on about that,
right.
but I mean
So
it's
we
over
got
with.
we gotta let this settle down and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Well,
You
Hani and
know.
Hani Rambod, he put out a what was it? They had to do pictures this I think it was Sunday or something like Hadi and Derek. So they're getting along. They're like, there's nothing in between them. And Hani is their coach, and so that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I think it was something that just happened in the moment, you know,
Yeah.
that heat of the moment. You know what I mean? You know, it's not like, Derek and Hadi are gonna be like, mortal enemies or anything like that. But I mean, and you and I, you know how it feels.
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes
I do
you
know how it
placed
feels.
like you didn't think you should be placed and stuff, and it hits.
That's a shitty feeling.
It is. It is. And when you're talking about at that level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I don't think it was about the money for Hadi. I
No.
think he wanted to win. It was a two-time,
He wanted
it
he
was
wanted to
he was
win for
defending his
Iran because
title.
it's his nation, and the people really look up to him over there, because he's a
Mm-hmm.
legend. And so at least from what he said, because he put a statement on Instagram too, basically apologizing to the people, and he's gonna fight harder, and it's translated basically something like that. He was apologizing, and but letting his people know he's there for him.
Okay.
Obviously his people know that, and everything's cool on that end. uh
Mm-hmm.
but this is just fuel for the fire. What's he going to be doing next year? That's the
Yeah,
question.
it's just fuel. Yeah,
Because
you
you
know,
know Hadi's in
yeah,
the gym already. He's already training.
probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's already doing his thing. So
He probably just went and just bypassed his cheat meal. Don't forget that.
oh
We'll
yeah.
just stay on
Oh
that.
yeah. He's right back phase one, right? Just
let's
doing his
let's
thing.
let's
So
talk about let's talk about that second. Let's talk about that second call out in the
okay.
open.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think this is one of the cases, like especially with the like with Hunter.
Yes. Let's
I
talk
mean,
about Hunter.
I think when you're I think when you qualify and then just get ready for the Olympia. Don't do it like a string of shows. You can't
Yeah.
it's hard to peak, you can only peak so many times,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think, I'm thinking he was dieting most of the year, and I think he just looked, you know, I think he just looked like he'd been at it a little too long,
Yeah.
you know.
I did notice the second call out when he was up there, he was doing a lot of sweating too. And the thing
Yeah,
is, I'm like, he's definitely lean enough. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's dry enough. So I'm like, why is he sweating? Like, I think it's a nerve thing. I think
could
his
be.
nerves get shot when he's up on stage, is
It
what I
could be.
think.
Hmm.
Uh,
And
but
the thing,
but I mean, what did he get last year? He was ninth or
oh, he moved up. He
yeah, he
improved.
moved up. And he looked great, I thought. I mean, I thought he did a really, really good job. Now, did he look as good up against Andrew Jack at the Texas Pro?
I thought the show that he won, I thought that's when he looked the best. He did not look
Yes.
like that at the Olympia.
Yeah.
I,
No, he
I, I
didn't.
didn't see
No, he
that.
didn't.
I didn't see that. Now Jack just he needs to fill out some more.
Yeah.
I still go back to that.
He needs to sit on his he needs to sit on it too when he's doing a side pose. Did you notice that?
Yeah, no,
He's
yeah,
he's too up high, too straight up and down. He needs to sit on those hamstrings just a little bit more.
bring those glutes out too.
Yes, yes,
That'll
because
bring
he's
the
got
glutes
them.
out. Yeah,
He's got them.
yeah.
But what'd you think of Crizzo?
Yeah, I thought Crizzle brought some really good conditioning, dude. I really did.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did his back double. I think his back double on biceps is probably the only one that was remotely close to Derek's.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he was so sliced and diced. I mean, from the back, I was like, wow,
And
Now
he
I'm talking about
brought
his
up his
back double on
glutes. He
biceps.
brought up his hamstrings because that was a problem that he had before.
Yeah, but
He
the thing
brought
about
them
it,
up.
he moved up significantly too.
Yeah, he did.
So you know, uh, I mean, that's something that's got to be a motivating factor for him. That's
Yeah.
got to really motivate him next year and stuff. I mean, he's got to be thinking, I think I can break the top five next year.
Hmm.
He's got to be thinking that.
Well, you know,
You know,
the first call out actually, Hunter wasn't in the first call out, wasn't he?
no,
He wasn't.
I don't think I didn't have him in. I didn't have him in my first. I didn't have him in
No,
my
I
top.
mean he was in it when they first called out. The first call out was six guys, and I think Hunter was there.
Right, right. I think yeah.
So and then they brought him back out, and they were battling for fifth
Right, and
place.
they were battling. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he was he start like, but that's when he started going a little bit downhill. You know what I mean? Because they
Hmm.
kept on posing him down, and he just started losing a little bit. And I think
Yeah, you start burning up that glycogen.
yeah, but he was crisp as hell before that though. So uh yeah, I mean I'm really proud of Hunter. I think he's come a long way in this last year.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was actually really impressed with Hunter.
I think he's big enough. I think he just needs to qualify and then, just focus on getting ready for the Olympia
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not do so many shows. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure he doesn't really need the money to do that,
No, he owns
and
like one of
just,
the best gyms in the world, like
you know,
Labrada supplement cup. I mean,
right. Yeah.
yeah, he
So
don't need money. His
that's
is
that's what I'm thinking,
yeah,
now your Antonio, he was looking to crack the top 10 and he did.
he did. Yep, he sure
He
did.
did. He's I can see where he can be a force. There's some things he's definitely got to do, but I can see where he can be a force, down the road and stuff. I can actually see him maybe, you know, having some decent some results similar to Dexter Jack because his body is very similar to Dexter's.
It is, yeah, it is.
It's very similar, and I can see it. I think if he just fills out and just keeps going
He
and
needs to
stuff,
fill out,
I
yeah,
think yeah, yeah.
because I think he was one of the smaller guys up on stage.
Right. I can definitely see he can probably vie for the top six
Yeah,
if he does everything he needs to do. And you gotta give hats off to Brandon Curry too. He got fourth
yes,
after
yes,
that stuff that he went through and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. That ulcer, he had
he's
an
gotta be
ulcer. Yeah,
yeah, you gotta be happy with that. He's
yeah,
gotta be happy with that right there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see him winning another Olympia though. I mean,
No, I think his
he
time's
can
over with that. Yeah, I do too.
I think he can compete in these bigger shows with a bigger payout and get some get some decent income that way and stuff,
What did
but as
you
far as
what did you think of Regan Grimes?
you know I thought he brought a decent package. I mean,
Yeah,
he's still working with Milos and I think he brought a decent package, but I think he needs to grow a little bit more too, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So the structure and everything is there. He presents well. You know, but and I know it sounds almost cliche sometimes. You gotta get bigger, you gotta get bigger, you gotta get fuller, you gotta get fuller. But yeah, that's
that's
pretty
what
much it.
changed.
He's got everything else. His development is fine. His balance is good. His structure is good. It's just that he's got to bring that wow factor. You know.
Yeah. Another guy I was paying a lot of attention to is Presti. That guy's a big dude.
Yeah, yeah, he
He's a
is.
big dude, and he's got a really good looking physique.
Yeah.
Similar to Regan Grimes, actually. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think he was a little overlooked, maybe a little bit, but the lineup was so deep that maybe not. But
It was pretty deep, and
yeah,
a lot of these guys, they have to consider, there was a time when Ronnie Coleman was like 14th,
last,
15th, and Jay
yeah,
Cutler was 13th and 14th and 16th. You
right,
know, you look down, and that's why I like looking down that call out a little bit further and stuff, because I remember when Jay Cutler was coming up. I remember when I really started paying attention to him. I think he placed like 12th in one of the Olympiads and stuff, but in before he had placed even lower than that, and he came up. And I said, you know what? You give him a couple more years. I think he's going to be in the top five. And
yeah,
sure enough,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think
So
Presti's one. We're gonna have to keep an eye on him.
yeah,
I think he's
there's some definitely some people I would say keep an eye on. I think
yeah,
Crizzo's one of them too.
Chris. Oh yeah, Chris. Oh, he see. I think a lot of his deal. He's got the size. He got shredded enough. He just needs that muscle maturity. He just needs to
He
keep
did.
doing what he's doing.
I tell you that back double on bicep. I tell you, it was on.
Right, right.
It was on.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he had probably one of the second best double arm biceps, But the big question now is the person who should really be the heir apparent is Samson. He's got some work to do on his back,
yeah,
and not so much a back double arm bicep, but the back lat spread.
yeah. You're
And
right.
I don't know whether it's the way he presents it, you know,
I
but
think it is. I was looking at that earlier. I think it's how he's presenting it. And same thing with a side tricep.
yeah, his side track. No, his he's not throwing that front. He's not throwing that far front deltoid forward. To give
Enough. Yeah,
right, and
yeah,
so it makes him look very narrow.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
And so the posing, just the techniques of posing and stuff. I mean, he's outweighing Derek, and he's running Choopan by about 30 pounds or so, and in their side shots, they were looking
Yeah.
just as big as he was,
Did
so
you see the point where I think they were doing a pose down or something, and it was Choopan, Lunsford, and Sampson up there, and Sampson goes and does a back double on by right in front of Choopan. You couldn't see him at all. Like he just completely blotted him out.
mhm.
That was awesome. And I liked his enthusiasm when they kept on moving him to the middle. Everybody's thinking
Mhm.
they're in the middle, and you're like, yeah. And then they'd move him, Samson go in the middle, and he just kind of stroll up there. He started posing better. He started getting more at it. Like as they were moving him in the middle, he was getting better. I
Yeah,
know.
he felt good about it. I mean, they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. They said they wanted to crack the top three, and that's what they did.
That's
They
what they
cracked the
did.
top three. So now the question now is, Mr. Sam, what's next?
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
going to do? What's your next goal? Are you saying, okay, let's go top two, or let's just go for the shot? But
Yeah.
there's some things that we got to do.
Yeah. We got a
He's got to.
whole year. It's going to be really exciting to see what Samson can do with
Yeah,
himself.
I would if I was Samson, I wouldn't compete in any other show. He's
No,
already
no.
requalified. He's in the top three. He's already requalified. All he needs to do now is just train.
Yep. Yep. You're right. You're right. And
Mm-hmm.
that's probably what he'll do. I could see him doing that. So
He'd be crazy if he didn't.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's about it for time there, Donnie.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to add?
that's it right there, man.
There was a lot. We could actually talk about that Olympia for hours.
Yeah.
You really could.
Congrats to the winners and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Another little side note, fitness. Two of those girls got really, really injured doing their routines. I don't remember what their name. One was Olympia from last year, actually,
Yeah.
but
The
yeah,
thing, I really do like women's fitness, but the thing about it is this:
dangerous.
it's yeah, did they still have the physique round?
I didn't look. I didn't see that. No.
I mean, because when it started out, you had your physique round, and then you had your physique round, and then you had your performance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were both counting as 50-50, as far as scoring and stuff. But the thing about it is when these girls, when they got to prep for that physique round, typically whenever you're, getting ready for a show and you're like 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out and stuff, you can't go out and like compete in football or some stuff
No.
like that. I mean, you can't. It's your body is pretty vulnerable at that point and stuff, and to be going out there and doing some of the stuff that they do. And I remember especially when fitness was in its heyday, people were doing crazy stuff as far as they're just basically high-end gymnastics routines is what
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
And it was a sight to see. But the thing about it is this: it just opens you up. Uh-oh.